Have you ever had trauma so bad that you wish you were dead instead of the person that passed away? And how did you handle that? I've had a lot of trauma in my life, and I'm almost 53 years old. And my trauma started when I was 9. Probably before that, because my sister physically and emotionally abused me. But one of my challenges on my therapist was to document my trauma up until this point. So I'm not going to be able to put 10 pounds of shit in a 5-gallon bucket. So this is going to be part 1 of probably many parts, as long as I can stay standing on 2 feet and try not to stumble my words too much and I get tired, because it's going to be exhausting, because it's a big trip. I've never really, well, I've seen a lot of therapists and a lot of psychiatrists since I was 14, and I'm almost 53, so it's been a long journey. So that is why I made this channel, was for bipolar, borderline personality disorder, PTSD, which I don't talk about a whole lot, because that one is one that pretty much everybody knows about, I guess. The other ones are a little bit different. ADD, they thought I had ADHD, but now believe I grew out of it, because I'm now an adult. Yes, I use a lot of sarcasm, because that covers up my pain. So I try to use humor. I try to make people laugh, and that's to cover up the pain, so they don't question why I am the way I am, whatever way that is, myself. They can't handle me. I can't handle me. So I would like to, I mean, besides, I got finished with the PTSD, then I have IBS, causing diarrhea from anxiety. I have panic anxiety disorder. I have panic disorder. I have agoraphobia. I have agoraphobia with panic. I'm just a bag of fun. I really am. Because I've had this for so long. I have a problem with my hair today. It's just, that's my problem today. Major problem, I better go call somebody. I'm just kidding. I am very serious about mental illness, and if you watch my videos, you'll see that. I will mix the seriousness in with humor and comedy, because that's how I deal. Somebody will be serious, like my fiance. He'll come to me with a serious issue, and I'll deal with it. And I move a lot in my chair, just so you know, because I have ADHD, whether they believe it or not. No, I just sit in this chair too much, and I don't know, whatever. But anyway, I do bounce around a lot, and my therapist told me that that's the borderline personality disorder, and that is my latest, if you want to call it that. my latest diagnosis, and so I don't understand it fully. So I do a lot of research. I did a video just tonight, and I did it faceless, and it wasn't because I didn't want you to see all of this. Whatever. No, because I was reading off my screen, and between me and my screen is pretty far, and I can't see. I've had glasses since I was 3. Okay, so I've had glasses for 50 fucking years. That's a long time. So I'm pretty blind. So I just put a little sticky over my camera lens and just read what I wanted to read. It was about borderline personality disorder, and it was quite lengthy and quite informative, if you ask me. I didn't hear you ask me, so it must be. No, I'm just kidding. I am stalling because I'm not good with confrontation, and I don't want to do this, but in a way I want others to know that if they're suffering, they're not alone. That I've been through some pretty horrific things myself, and that I'm available to talk to listen. I'm not a very good listener. I can be, but it takes a little bit of duct tape. No, I try my best, but again, I tend to talk in circles, and I just found that out, that's the borderline, and I've always done it, and this is the first time hearing that was a borderline personality disorder. And I'm like, well, I should have known that a long time ago. Then my friends wouldn't think that I just like to yak, that I just talk a lot, because I do. Because why not? You know, it's like, well, at least if there's a room full of people, somebody will have something to say, and it'll be me. And it'll probably be a smart-ass comment. But I know I'm starting this off not on topic exactly, because I really don't know where to start. Where do you start out? I commented that I've been in therapy. I just call it therapy, whether or not it's, you know, counseling or therapy, or, you know, psychiatrists, psychologists. I've been through many, and never kept one very long, because they would quit. They would switch to a different facility. They would die, believe it or not. You know, and there's always been a reason, and I guess I don't do well with change, unless it's like quarters. Okay, stop it. I want to get through this. I don't want these to be 6-hour videos, but they could be. And I can't even see the timer, so if somebody, you know, wag a flag, yeah. It's like after 1 o'clock in the morning. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. Perfect timing to do video. I should actually set my phone for 30 minutes, because I don't like to go over. I like videos 20 to 30 minutes, and because personally I have ADD, so when I see a video that's like an hour and a half, I'm like, oh, I can't watch this whole video, way too long, and I don't watch it. So I try to keep mine relatively consumable. I don't think I've ever used that word. Congratulations. So it started when that got dark, because my stupid screensaver went off, and I don't know if I can go and fix it in the middle of a video. I'm not gonna go try because I don't want to screw up the video. Yes, I cough from time to time because I'm a smoker, and I've already told the doctor, don't even go there because you're not going to get anywhere. Again, I'm stalling. No, I'm just giving you some background about myself and how I am, and that I've got an attitude and I know how to use it. I've never had to hit anybody. Okay, I hit somebody once. Okay, twice. But the first time was Warren. He was Warren, and that was my second husband. I told him to stay out of my 3 feet of personal space. He insisted on getting in my 3 feet of personal space, and I walloped him one in the mouth. I drunk off my ass. That's my excuse, but I really don't need one. When somebody says stay out of my space, stay out of their space. Good idea, you think? So anyway, and the second time was my ex-husband, current ex-husband, is that what you call him when you have more than one? I hit him with a bed pillow. You know, not a crusty couch pillow, but a nice soft bed pillow. He would sit next to me on the love seat and just kind of whisper. And I had just watched my father pass away, and I was very vulnerable, and my medication was not correct. I was going through med changes, so I was very unstable, and he surprised me with divorce papers, and after 15 years I thought we had a pretty good marriage, and apparently I was snowed. But anyway, I'd rather be ghosted. They're both white. But anyway, so we would sit there and he would just taunt me, but nobody else could hear him but me. And he said something to me, and I grabbed the nearest thing, and it was a pillow, and I hit him 3 times with it. 3 times. Well, I was arrested for domestic violence and disorderly conduct. And God knows if there's anything else, because it wasn't the first time that I was arrested. I was arrested numerous times. He'd come to my apartment. He had restraining orders on me, and he would still come up to my apartment. And if I didn't agree to the terms of the divorce, he would contact my probation officer and tell her that I had contact with him and I'd go to jail. So I had been advised that I should have put bricks in that pillow before I hit him with them, but that's neither here nor there. It's in the past. When I walked into jail, they'd be like, now what'd you do? And it was funny. One time, I'm sort of starting in where I want. I'm comfortable in my comfort zone, and I would walk into jail, and they're like, "Now what did you do?" I'm like, "I talked to him. I told you not to fucking talk to him. What did you talk to him for?" And you know, they yell at me because I was like older, and these were all 20-something-year-olds. But they treated me with a lot of respect, and I appreciated that. I didn't realize it at the time, but yeah, so anyway. One time I went to jail for disorderly conduct. God, I don't even know why. And that's when I went to jail and was there and bailed myself out and went home, climbed into bed, took my puppy with me, was ready to just sleep in my bed, after jail fucking bed, ready to sleep in my bed. I started pounding at the door. What the fuck? Another thing is, cops don't ring the doorbell, cops don't knock, they pound. So I knew right away what it was. I peeked out the blinds and I'm like, what the fuck now? I just got home. Why are you harassing me? So eventually, because they're relentless, I'm going to set a timer. They're relentless. So, stopwatch or timer? How about go timer? So we'll start there. I don't know if it'll go off. But anyway, so they're like, you're not supposed to be here. I'm like, excuse me? This is my house. Well, no, after you got released from custody, you have to wait 72 hours before you return. And I'm like, well, nobody told me that. I didn't know that. Well, that's not our fault. And by the way, here's 3 restraining orders. 1 for each child and 1 for your then husband. And I'm like, oh my God, when it rains, it pours. So I go back to jail. I think it was 2 hours. And I walk in and everybody's like, what the fuck? I've never seen anybody come back so fast. So I got an award for that. Yeah, it was a messy divorce to where he would lie and I wouldn't. My lawyer quit 2 days before our hearing. As for the lying, yeah. And he never got in any trouble for that. And I would tell the truth, we had to go to hearing for not custody, visitation, because I was court ordered to write to my children. I had to write to them, and the letters would get sent to their guidance or therapist, counselor, chick, whatever. And she quit. So, and she was local, so he had to find someplace else. So he found another place, but it was like 20 minutes away. Well, that was too far for him to drive, so he stopped them. He didn't take them anymore. So I don't know what happened with my letters. I don't know if they even got them. And there was an incident, I know there's an incident in the garage where I was in the corner of the garage smoking, because that's where I smoked, was in the garage. And I was sitting in a plastic chair, and I got up to leave. My son was 18. My daughter must have been, I don't know, 12 or 13 maybe. And I went to grab her by the shoulders, and her hair was shoulder length. And I got her hair in between her shoulders and my hand. And I got arrested for child abuse. So I don't know what else I got arrested for that day. I think disorderly conduct, but I don't know what I did. So I went to jail for that. I have that on my record, although it was read in, but I wasn't convicted. And it really wasn't fair. They did a lot of things to me and against me, and it was a lot of bullshit, is what it was. Because I hit him with the pillows. This is hilarious. This is great. I think it's hilarious because it's pathetic and it's fucking petty. He went to the abused women's shelter, I think you call it, or center, and he had 3 women surrounding him at a court hearing. This is a place for women, abused women. So he's a pussy, whatever. It's pathetic. It's like, can't you hold your own? You carry a fucking gun under your clothes, outside your clothes, whatever, but you can't handle being hit with a pillow? You're pathetic. So anyway, yeah, things were pretty hairy. There's another time that, well, I was homeless, and when you're married in that state, whatever his is yours as well. So before our divorce was final and he cut me off from all the credit cards, I went and got like 8 credit cards because I was homeless. And I finally was living in a hotel room for a while, and they were giving me a discount because I was there for like a month or 2. And they gave me a discount, they treated me really good, blah, 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 whatever. And for 4th of July, I sent him flowers and just wrote like hints that he would know who it was from. I didn't write me. And, you know, out of my kind heart, he had me arrested for also my brain fried. The not disorderly conducts. The, oh my God. I took my pills. The restraining orders. You know, I did something nice, and that's what I got. He even came to the hotel to visit me. And then finally I got my own apartment. I had to buy all new clothes because I was allowed 10 minutes to write whatever it was that I wanted out of the house. And I had lived at the house for 8 years. We owned the house for 8 years. So I wrote a list of things that I wanted, and my so-called best friend and her husband made 3 pickup trips for me. That's it. So, I mean, I had to buy toilet paper, paper towel, a microwave, you know, the necessities. I ended up having to buy new furniture, a bed, a sofa, you know, all that stuff. And I had prepared to pay for that all myself because I was getting pretty good income at the time. And Social Security caught up with me. But I didn't get charged. I'm paying it back. So then it's okay. Not okay, but whatever. Anyway, so in the long run, he ended up having to pay for my furniture because we had just gotten all new appliances, new washer, dryer, stove, refrigerator, hot water heater, microwave, dishwasher, you name it. It was all brand new. And I didn't reap the benefits of that. So the judge made him pay for, well, let's see, it was, I didn't even buy I said I wish I would have bought the most expensive shit if I would have known he was going to pay for it. But, I mean, I had to buy a sofa, a bed, a nightstand, you know, just like 4 things. And, you know, of course, mattress, box spring, stuff like that. Frame, footboard, blah, blah, whatever. So, you know, I had to buy all new stuff. I didn't go cheap, because I wanted it to last. And I didn't go expensive, and I wish I would have. But I didn't know. So, he ended up having to pay for that. My lawyer's like, we should be able to give him this much. Because he made 6 figures. He made a lot of money. He still does. And that's why the kids stay with him. Because they stay where they're getting good. And they don't know me anymore. They don't know. They only know what they were told. They never got the story from me. And I tried numerous times. They tell me they wish I was dead. They tell me to hurry up and die. They're brutal. All my friends, oh my God, it always happens. Like if I'm doing dishes or something, my nose starts to itch. It drives me crazy. It's just some anomaly. Some stupid shit. But, you know, he convinced all my friends except one to take his side. Even my best friend went with him. Everybody's, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to get involved. Nobody's asking you to fucking get involved. you know, and it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And I would never keep my children from their father, but he insists on keeping my children, our children, from me. We've been estranged for 8.5 years, and you'll find videos about that on this channel as well, because it is not fun. It's heartbreaking for a mother. You know, I'm like, you feed them, well, you give birth to them, you feed them, you bathe them, you do, you know, and you feel like that's a reason that you should see them. And I read something recently, that's not true. That's your job. So I sent them an SD card, a little SD card in the mail a couple of months ago, quite a few months ago. And it had to be signed for. And they refused it. So it was supposed to get sent back to me. No, it got lost in the mail. And as of now, it's still lost in the mail. It doesn't matter because I have, you know, a copy. I ain't stupid. But it's still frustrating because it's like, doesn't really matter whose hands it's in, because there's nothing in there that's really, I don't really think there's anything that anybody would tell what it is, except maybe if they got the envelope with it. There's like not naked pictures or anything good. But, oh, now the train's gonna come through. Fuck. And the stupid, the pause button on this damn thing don't work. It's the weirdest thing. But if I'm not recording, the pause button works. It's so stupid. It's like the worst. I wish I could find a better program. But anyway, it's gonna be loud. So I'll try to do my best to be loud. So that was, you know, sort of what was culminating for a year and a half, was our 15-year divorce. That he's a piece of shit. He is such a coward. He won't talk to me. He's a coward. And he even said, you know, if I agree with him, I might get my family back. So I tried to agree with him the best I could, but I wasn't going to go along with stupid. You know, I'm smarter than that, because he wanted the world. And he's a narcissist, so it brings him great joy to watch me fail. And he didn't like that I was with somebody new. Matter of fact, he would come up to my apartment and he would say, "So are you seeing anybody else?" And I'd say no, because he didn't want to risk getting a STD. Oh, I lied to him. It's my life. You don't want me. You only want me when you want me. I mean, he would still text me, and I had all of those, and I presented all of those to my lawyer, and all he used was just one or two text messages out of hundreds, I should say out of months. He used one. He's a total dipshit. He only charged me, I was paying him as I had him, and then after the divorce was final, no, I'm not looking at the ceiling, I'm thinking. I tend to look up when I think. Sorry. When the divorce was final, he didn't even send me a final bill. I have no idea how much I owed him. It's not in collections. No idea. I think he knew that he did a shitty job. Had I thought of it, I would have had him use my mental illnesses, not as a defense, but in my favor. Because I did things that were very not normal. I'm not normal. Fuck. But, you know, things that were really inappropriate. But he had it coming. You know, that's the funniest thing of all. I hate it coming. He was a stupid jackass who... He wanted me to be a Stepford wife and obey and bow down and kiss his feet and, you know, do as they say, and fuck you. I'm gonna do what I want because I have a brain of my own, and yeah, he didn't like that. But you know, I took care of the kids, I cooked, I did most of the wifely things. I thought I was a good wife. He was just a shitty husband, I guess. And then, you know, I would get on dating sites and I'd find him. He'd be like the first person to show up and I'd shit in my pants. And so I would make up fake emails, fake profiles, just to talk to him, just to find out, how are my kids? Are they okay? One time I got an email from Walgreens saying my 11-year-old was getting Tylenol 3. Well, what does an 11-year-old get Tylenol 3 for? My gosh, you know, freaked me out a little bit. So I had to email, I tried to get a hold of him, he ignored me. So I got a hold of his lovely lawyer, who's married to a lovely judge. You know, you can't get a better lawyer than that. So I was screwed out of the gate. So, I finally got a hold of her. Apparently, my 11-year-old daughter was taken to the emergency room with abdominal pain, and her appendix had burst, and she had to have emergency surgery. Thanks, Mom, for letting me know. Yeah. That's because Walgreens sent me... It was when I was still married to him, and I would get notifications of their prescriptions being ready. That's how I found out about that one. Then, when she was 13 or 14, I believe, I got another notifications from Walgreens saying, your daughter's birth kit, oh, your daughter's whatever, you know, technical name of the medication is ready. Well, what's that? Google it. Birth control. Guess that's all I have to say about that. Because I was 14 and I was technically date raped. I was going with a guy. I was 14, he was 18. Back then, it was okay. And, but I was a full-time student, and we'd have sex 4 or 5 times a night. He started using a condom, then he stopped. Then he would pull out. I got pregnant. Shocking. And my dad told him, if you ever get my daughter pregnant, I'm gonna use something about piano wire around his balls. That's all I know. Or cut your balls off. I don't know. He threatened his balls. Whatever. So the dad refused to have anything to do with me. But he talked to my sister, who's 2.5 years older than I am. They talked to each other in school. And that's how he found out I was pregnant. But he refused to show up to the house because he was scared of my dad. My dad was like 6 foot, 150 pounds. He isn't a big guy. But I'm sure he weighed more than that. It's just a joke. Anyway, so ended up going through the pregnancy without him, and gave birth when I was 15, and my sister was there with me, and it was a fast labor and everything. You know, he ended up being a boy, but I opted for an open adoption. His parents are assholes. Mega. Anytime he gets in trouble, it's my fault because I'm bipolar or I have ADHD, which now they don't think I have because I grew out of it. I have ADD, I have mental problems. So every time he gets in trouble, it's my fault. Thanks. You're welcome for giving you that beautiful baby. Ungrateful motherfuckers. I could use worse language, but I'm trying real hard to behave, and that's really hard for me. I have no sense of control. But anyway, so okay, he went, you know, to that family, and I chose to not have any contact, where his dad chose to have contact. Well, his dad was drunk driving with 3 other boys in the car and hit a tree, and he died. The 3 survived, but he died. And although we were broken up, you know how it is when you're young and you're in love and you make plans when you're that age to get married and have a family, and you know, you talk stupid. And but he dumped me for some other girl. I'll be nice. And so I was still hurt from that breakup. And when I found out he had gotten killed, I said he committed suicide. When you drink that much and then you drive and then you die, you pretty much are asking for it. My view. So anyway, yeah, I took that extremely hard. That was my first real trauma. I mean, my first real trauma was I was molested when I was 9. But that wasn't like major. I mean, I know every molestation is major, but this was one time, and that was it. I told my sister, she didn't tell anybody, nobody else knew until I was 18, and we read the article in the paper that he was giving the babysitters rides home and taking advantage of them. And that's when I chose to tell my family that he had done it to me. And I called his probation officer, and after that, karma struck. I think it's karma. His son, I don't know, maybe he was 22, something like that, was out on a pier fishing and got swept away by the waves. They swept over the pier and knocked him into the lake, and he drowned. Do I feel sorry for him? I can't. Should I? Probably. Because that's the kind of person I am. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of tears and a lot of emotion in these videos, just so you know. Trauma does that to you. So anyway, yeah. I wish the fucking pause button worked on this son of a bitch. You know, they make this shit, and there's a pause button. It just doesn't work. But if I don't have it on record, it works. It's so stupid. Anyway, yeah, that happened when I was 9. My parents divorced when I was 12. I went and lived with my mom. Big mistake. She was a whore. She didn't get paid, so I guess that makes her a slut. But, you know, I babysit for her kids, or her friends' kids, and she'd go get drunk, and she'd let strange girls sleep in my bed. And when I get pissed off, she'd tell me to be quiet, because I'll wake her up. What kind of bullshit is that? She had a boyfriend who just passed away. He was 13 years younger than her. And she's an old bitch now. But, I'm sorry if I don't make eye contact. It's something that I do. Don't do? Whatever. So, anyway, yeah, I lived with my mom, and she would ground me. And when I would get ready to leave, she'd come home. Then I was in deeper shit because I was trying to leave. I was trying to get the fuck out of there and try to get away from her and her. Everything was her boyfriends. The world revolved around her boyfriends. And I think the only reason she had me with her and kept me was for the child support. It's the only thing I can imagine, because she had a full-time job, and you know, she had that full-time job for 22 years, so she wasn't like a slum mom that, you know, did drugs. Yeah, she did drugs. She smoked pot with her boyfriend, and she drank. She developed into an alcoholic, and somehow, I don't know how, she stopped. But yeah, she would drink every night, and then all of a sudden, you know, out of some way, she stopped. But her and I were, from, you know, the beginning of my time until I was 12, I don't remember her. I have no idea if she ever did anything with me, or if she ever, I know she never spanked me. That was my dad's job with a fly swatter, and it hurt like hell. But you know, I don't know. I just don't. And my sister would do things to me, and my dad never did. And I actually had a therapist, I think it was, that tried to convince me that my dad had done things to me. And I'm like, fuck you, no he didn't. Oh, I think you should tell me the truth. I think that you have it in the back of your mind and you forgot. And this, no, he didn't. You know, my dad has since passed away. It's been, gosh, years and years. And he raised my sister and I. And the sad part about it is, if he raised my sister and I, dumbass, no, I will not say my ex-husband's name. Why? Because that's respectful. And I have no respect for him whatsoever. So, no, I will not say his name. Ever. Never. It's asshole, dumb fuck. It's, yeah, a lot of other words. Because it's not that it makes me feel better. It's like I said, it's because I have no respect for him. I've sent the girls stuff, and they sent it back to me. And it's just like, it's not the girls that I knew. It's not the girls that I raised. He mind fucked them so bad. They don't believe me. They won't. Like I said, I got a phone call. Well, I didn't say I got a phone call, but I got a phone call when I first moved here. We moved from one state to another last October. So it's been just over a year. And I had my old phone number, and I got a phone call from my son, and I'm like, oh, you know, this is great. He's calling me. No, he was screaming, literally screaming at the top of his lungs at me about everything. I don't even remember, because my head was spinning. He wished me dead. He told me, hurry up and die. Things of that nature. So then a few hours later, my daughter, oldest daughter, who's 22, her number pops up. Oh, maybe she, you know, doesn't agree with him, and I will not answer their calls. Now, if I did change my number. Now, well, a couple months ago, and it ended up that she called me in the same routine. Then my third daughter, who was 17 at the time, I believe, yeah, 17, she used my other daughter's phone. And so I'm like, why are you calling me again? And it ended up being her. And I know she doesn't feel the same way, because she called me mom numerous times. where before she would call me by my name. But she called me Mom numerous times. So I know she's not on board with this. And coincidentally, she's going to school for psychology. So I'm hoping that she's going to learn something from this and that I will be reconnected. I can't say I want to be reconnected. Let's just say I don't want to be reconnected with all of them. Oh, my alarm's going off. There are ones that have said things, and I know it's not their fault. They're severely brainwashed. But I am learning right now how to have estranged children after 8.5 years. I don't know how they are now. I know that they're entitled, or yeah, they're entitled. Is that the right term? I'm not sure. Or at least they think they're entitled. But to me, they're jerks. I have my own opinion of what I think of them. It had a lot to do with the SD card. When I sent that to them and they refused it. It's like, it's your childhood from birth on. Don't you understand that? I wrote that in there, but they didn't even bother to open it. They just flat refused it. So I guess it's their loss. I thought about writing them lately because I've been watching videos about that you should at least try every 6 to 12 months. But my therapist has been telling me they're living their adult life. Forget about them. You live your life. You be happy. And that's hard when you actually give birth and then get the big fuck you. It's very hard. So I'm going to wrap this up as part 1 of, I think it's going to be Story of My Life, part 1. Even though I didn't start at the beginning, I kind of did. I don't know where I'm going to pick up. I'm going to have to write that down so I don't retell things. But I did touch a lot on just the last few years. I kind of skipped here and there. I have one that's a mega bombshell that I don't want to talk about, but it's part of what makes my mental illnesses what they are, you know. So I hope you have a good night, and I hope you subscribe to my channel so you can keep up with me and get some advice if you need it from other videos, and learn, you know, about other videos. Not learn about the other videos. Learn about what the other videos are about. I'm tired. It's like late, but I'm a night owl. I go to bed at 7 or 8 in the morning and sleep till 4, which is really bad. It's not good, especially for my mental health. My mental health, I'm so sick of it. You know that? I am so sick of it, especially moving from one state to another and having to start over. It's such shit. And then pile on new issues, new health issues. That's just a fucking bomb. Then you're rocking it, you know. But I try to keep my chin up. I try to keep my mood up. Like I always say, cry in the shower because nobody knows you're crying.